Bruv. I would argue that this has to be one of the worst Royal Rumbles that they've done. One of the worst Royal Rumbles that they've done. First of all, let's talk about the people who were actually in the Rumble. You had space to all add all those El Grande Americanos and El Grande Cappuccinos and what was his name? Ray Phoenix, Ray Mysterio, Penta. You could add all those people and all those mass superheroes. You couldn't add Finn Balor. You couldn't have added Shinsuke Nakamura. Where was Kevin Owens, by the way? Whenever they wanted to push new talent onto the platform and try to do stuff with them, and whenever they feel like it, they just do play the same uh, merry-go-round game with the same old A-grade big star superstars that they have. How many of you guys? What was the rationale behind Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble again? How many of you guys were excited to see Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania once again for the 575th time? How exciting, right? Such a good thrilling experience that we haven't witnessed in a very long time. They don't use talent very well. What was the point of bringing Lesnar out and have him be eliminated when nobody is even noticing? You have Jey Uso dancing around doing his yeet, and in the background you just push Brock Lesnar off, and just like that. Let's talk about Gunther versus AJ Styles. I have actually watched AJ Styles uh, for a big chunk of his career. I used to watch him when he was the WWE champion in 2017 as a part of SmackDown, and he had a very good run. As a matter of fact, he had a very good run. He had again great talent, a lot of potential that they could have done, and a lot of different ways that they could have gone by using him. I don't understand why AJ Styles got just this, just a farewell knockout by Gunther. But John Cena gets a whole farewell tour. He gets to be the champion once again. He gets to have all the spotlight. Unless and until AJ Styles himself came up and said that he doesn't want that, he wants to retire now. Why? And what's with Gunther being the new talent that you're using to eliminate all the legendary tier superstars that we've had in the past? Why? What's so good about Gunther? Alternatively, there are lots of good characters and lots of good superstars that they could have brought into the scenario and used instead of Gunther to retire all these people and all those characters who have talent and could have used the spotlight. I would argue that if you just talk about raw talent, what was his name? Javon Evans, him, uh, Rick Williams. If you go and watch their match and see the athleticism that they have, the kind of things that they bring to the table, what can Gunther do? He just lands those chops and just puts people in a sleeper hold. That's all. I don't know what they do with the talent. I don't know how they go about making the stories and making the plot for where they want to go with the championship and the script. It doesn't seem well planned. It's really disappointing to see the way they retired AJ the way they did. It's really a shame. AJ Styles did not deserve that. He could have at least made him the World Heavyweight Champion. Come on. He had one last match with CM Punk on Raw. And what do you do with that? You have Finn Balor interrupt and spoil the match. And Triple H talks a lot about doing what's best for business. He talks a lot about doing what people actually want, what actually sells. If you see his interview, if he was, I think he was talking about in the post show. He said that in 10 years he wants superstars to look back at AJ Styles, and he wants AJ Styles to be somewhat like Shawn Michaels. He wants people and upcoming talent to look back at AJ Styles and be like, I want to be the next AJ Styles. I want to be the next this. I want to be the next that. People say the same thing for John Cena. People said the same thing for Goldberg. They were both pretty solid and pretty famous and pretty common fan. They were both pretty common fan favorites, just like AJ Styles is. If you wanted to do what's best for business, everybody, I'm pretty sure that I could argue that a a big proportion of WWE fans wanted AJ Styles to be champion once again, but he didn't. Why? I'm not sure if he himself came forth and asked this for himself that he doesn't want to wrestle anymore, and he wants to retire. If that was the case, then okay. What can we do about it? Can't be helped. It's very unfortunate to see the way they just let AJ go, and they didn't really do anything that they at least could have give him the win over Gunther. Speaking of AJ Styles, I don't see why there are so many good people who have genuine good talent and who've been on the road for a significant amount of time. Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, they have great amount of talent if you watch their wrestling and if they watch their athleticism. Their matches actually keep people hooked on. They don't use. I would argue that they could do a much better job at utilizing their talent well. I'm saying this over and over again, but it's true. Shinsuke Nakamura deserves to be champion. Easily. Easily. In either case, you just see, it'll be interesting to see how they go forward with this, with the trajectory and with the path they're on. Drew McIntyre is so champion. So, I'm not sure if we're looking at a triple threat match at WrestleMania between the three of them. Cody Rhodes is obviously going to be in the picture. They're going to get him the S1 way or another. We already have a bout that's about to happen between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre because of him screwing him over and Royal Rumble. It's not even a question. It's coming up. You'll see. Cody Rhodes is going to be in there with Roman Reigns one way or another in the final match. Above all, it's just very disappointing to see how they just utilize and just let AJ Styles go. Even in the Rumble match, they could have done a lot better with Brock Lesnar. They didn't utilize Lesnar well. Why would you invite him, bring him out, just to be limited within what 5 minutes? All in all, it's a very disappointing Rumble experience. Could have been a lot better. Easily could have been a lot better. Let's see what they make of the script and how they go forward coming Elimination Chamber.